Welcome to Mahila Money Talk. We have Namrata Mehta, founder of Strokes by Namrata, a Mumbai based lifestyle brand that's redefining how art meets everyday life. So, whether it is handbags, home decor, coffee mugs, handcrafted, heartfelt, and high in demand, that's what Strokes by Namrata stands for. बट ये जर्नी इतनी सीधी नहीं थी. नम्रता started her journey in her 20s and she left a well paying job because something inside her actually clicked and she said, no, this is not it and I have to do this. So she converted her passion into business and we will learn from her what did she go through and what is it that she has learned from her entire journey. पहला सवाल आपके लिए आर्ट एक पैशन था एंड आपने उसको प्रोफेशन एंड स्पेशली बिजनेस में कन्वर्ट किया. सो आपको कब पता चला कि दिस इज दी पाथ? हाउ, आई मीन, टेल अस मोर अबाउट दिस जर्नी.
Art was my passion, and it was not some recent passion. It was something I had from childhood. Matlab, even as a kid, I was drawing on walls, on all the furniture of my house. So it was until my college, and even after college, that was something that always was a major part of my life. So you feel when you're so passionate about something, that is your calling. And even though I tried doing a job and I tried doing other things, that honestly, I just felt like, I felt misplaced, to be very honest. I didn't feel like this is my path or this is my life journey. So then I finally decided to pursue my passion. I started this business, and to be very honest, I was completely clueless. I didn't know how to run a business. I didn't have any experience, but I just kept following my passion. And most importantly, I think it's important that you keep learning, because now that it is not just a passion anymore, right? Now it also has to be a commercial success, because if you want to keep the business running, you have to look at the numbers, you have to look at the finance, you have to make the right calls as a business, for the business, as an entrepreneur.
How did you switch from a full-time job to being your own boss, and what were the reactions from definitely your friends? Family must have reacted that why are you leaving this job? So was there any such incident? Do share.
I think it is, for any entrepreneur, I think it is more than the external hustle. It is more of an internal battle that you are fighting every day against your own doubts and your own insecurities. And every day you have to kind of cheer yourself up and say that, because things will go wrong every other day. There will be so many issues, there will be so many problems, but you have to keep pulling yourself up. So that is definitely an ongoing process. But when it comes to friends and family, I have been extremely fortunate that my family has been supportive from day one. Like, from day one till now, if they have done everything in their power to help me with the business in whatever way they could have contributed.
I have seen your Instagram and I see a lot of handbags and stuff. So, आपने bag को gateway product बनाया. So, what was the thought behind that strategy?
So, like I said, when I started, I didn't really have much of a plan in my mind, right? I started with many random products, like mugs, phone covers, diaries, bags, everything that I thought that I could do using my designs. But then slowly, of course, I realized that because I have, channeled out into so many categories, it is not helping me grow as a brand. I need to have focus on one particular category, for establishing myself as a brand. So then while thinking that, I realized that there was a very good opportunity in the handbag market, especially in the premium segment. Because nowadays so many women are working, they have their own independent careers, social life, so many things, and that means they even have purchasing power. So women, first of all, there was a need that women need good, functional, stylish bags which are premium, and at the same time they have the purchasing power, and it is a growing segment, right? Premium handbags was where I felt like this is a great opportunity. It's a growing market, there is growing demand, purchasing power is there, and we were, even for our bags, we were receiving a good response. So that is when I decided that, okay, this is where I will focus, and that then became the vision of the brand.
So scaling any D2C brand, especially in India, is really, it has its own challenges. So I would love to know from you, what are those challenges that you face, and actually you would have learned something on a side of operations or marketing.
Definitely, there is one very important thing which I would love to share, is that what I have learned, and I've learned it the hard way, that it is really important to diversify your sales channels. So what I mean by diversify is that you go omni-channel. For example, when I started, I was only selling on my website, okay? And in order to get sales, I was spending on performance marketing, which is your Facebook, Meta ads, your Google ads. And what I realized is that let's say 90% of my sale is dependent on those ads.
Yeah.
If any time there's any issue with the ads because
The sales
some
got
problem
stuck.
has happened with Meta, yeah, then your entire business is now what do you do? Now your entire business is stuck.
Yeah.
So then, yeah, and that's when we realized that this is very risky. You need to have more stability in the business. That's when we started going omni-channel. We started onboarding on all the marketplaces that are available. So we are right now on Nykaa, Myntra, Flipkart, Ajio, Tata Click. Name any marketplace, major one, we are there.
Okay.
Then we also started diversifying into offline channels. So we also supply to some showrooms across India. We also now very recently have started onboarding on quick commerce platforms.
You have taken a business loan, if I'm not wrong, and how did that change things for you? I mean, what did you use it for? Where did you invest? I mean, how is it that it actually changed your business?
So yes, I had taken a loan from Mahila Money itself, and it really changed things for us in a very big way. So like I just mentioned previously that I decided to diversify into all these channels, and one of these channels was offline sales,
Yeah.
in which we had received a PO to supply to 40 plus crossword bookstores showrooms across India.
Wow, that's great.
And we so that was something that we really wanted to do. But the thing with offline sales is that a lot of inventory and capital is needed in the beginning to supply to so many stores, and the payments will come maybe 2 or 3 months later, and they will come in parts depending on how much sale has happened.
Yeah.
And at that point, we did not have that much
Working
muscle
capital.
with us,
Yeah.
financial muscle.
Yeah.
Yes, working capital. So that is when Mahila Money, I mean, I was so fortunate that at that time Mahila Money stepped in, everything went very smoothly. I got the funds. Because I got the funds, I could supply on time to all these stores because it was a huge opportunity for us.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying in just terms of sales. Of course, our revenues grew because we were selling in so many stores. But then, because we were a small brand which was now associated with crossword bookstores, suddenly our brand got a lot of credibility.
I have seen, you are running your business since like 2020. Now you have a loyal customer base online, right? So, what is the secret behind this loyalty? If you could share it with us.
So I will tell you that in today's day it is actually difficult because there are so many brands, so many options. People are jumping from one brand to another. But yes, there are a lot of people who have purchased from us multiple times, who reach out to us first before going to any other brand. We take our customer support very seriously. Like at any time if you messaged, it's not just some chat bot giving you some random replies. There will be a person who will actually take into account what your issue is, whether you have any queries about the product, whether sometimes you place the order but then they have given the wrong address or the wrong phone number, they suddenly have changed their mind and they want something else, or they want a special note. All of these small things we incorporate every day. And secondly, we also take into consideration the feedback that we get. Whatever, even if it is small thing like, can you please add a strap in the bag next time, or a zip, or a this, that. So every time we design a new product, all of these small things we keep in mind, and we design with all these things in mind.
You have turned from an artist to a businesswoman, an artist to an entrepreneur. So, what was that one habit or a mindset shift when you changed from an artist to a businesswoman?
So something very similar to what I just previously said. So when I was just an artist, it was me first thinking, I'll do what I like, what I want. I like to make florals, so I'll make floral illustrations. I like this. But now it is customer first,
Yeah.
The entire approach to designing anything, presenting anything is that what understanding what the consumer, what my target audience wants, what their problems are, what problem I can solve for them, what are the things that I can incorporate in our products so that their lives are a little more easier. For example, we recently have launched a tote bag, which is like a huge bag for a 17-inch laptop, which we realized that so many people were asking and very few options are available in the market for a 17-inch laptop
Yeah.
bag. And we did that, and it is selling like it's selling like hotcakes. So I think the approach in design thinking is what I have really changed.
We would love to hear at least 5 financial tips for all the women entrepreneurs or the business or the families who have such kind of dreams, who want to, pursue their passion. So if you have any 5 financial tips for them, do share.
First of all, I've seen a lot of people who want to start their businesses, but there are so many excuses, like, when I get an investment of 25 50 lakhs, when I have so much saved, then I will start, or any family reasons or whatever. But I think you should and you can start small, because if you start small, obviously you will not need as many funds, and at the same time you make mistakes when you begin, right? So it's better to make those mistakes when you are smaller, rather than putting in so much money and then realizing that, okay, this is not okay.
Yeah.
Secondly, at least I follow this thing where I always have a financial projections plan with me for at least the next 2 to 5 years ready, so that I understand that, okay, where, when and where, how and why I will be needing funds. So I can prepare in advance in case I feel like, okay, 6 months down the line, I'm not going to have funds. So maybe I can start looking for funding or something like that. So it's always good. Of course, if you're trying to raise money, I have experienced this myself with a lot of other, fundraising platforms, where they use very fancy language and they'll make it sound like they'll probably offer you debt funding, and they'll use these fancy languages to make it seem like they're giving you a great offer, and there are all these hidden charges, or the terms and conditions are told to you in such a way, in using such a floral language, that you feel like, oh, this is a great deal. But then it's important to actually evaluate everything to understand how much you are ending up paying them.
Yeah.
Another thing is, if you have already started your business, and even if it's in the early stage, I feel it is important to do your accounts, understand where you are losing money. Are you in profit? Are you in loss? If you are in loss, where you can cut the cost, because still you don't do that, because even initially, even I was not doing it very regularly. I just kept feeling, okay, so much sales have happened, I must have earned so much of money. But then I realized that, okay, where I thought I was earning a lot of money, I'm actually losing money, and where I thought the profit margins are not so high, they're actually better. I feel that every entrepreneur should pay themselves a salary, even if it is low.
Very important.
Because you will keep yourself last. You will say ki theek hai, everything else is working fine, it's fine if I don't pay me. But then in the long run, it will take a toll on you financially, mentally, everything. So from the beginning, if you keep this, that you will be receiving a certain salary, it will be very helpful.
So now it's a quick fire round. So let's do a fast 5. I'll ask you 5 questions. Just need to give me a quick answers. Like your best selling product.
It's our tote bags, which are designed for like different laptop sizes.
Super. What's your favorite moment as a founder?
When we design a product for a particular audience with a particular purpose in mind, and after they purchase it, they actually write a review saying that how that product has solved this problem. It feels like it's a victory, like we have won.
Wow, that's great. And your go-to tool or platform for business?
So honestly, I've been using ChatGPT a lot nowadays, even for brainstorming.
Yeah.
Yes, it really is amazing. I would suggest everyone to start using ChatGPT.
Yeah, it saves a lot of time. What's the biggest business lesson so far?
I think that right from beginning till now, if I see my journey, I have continuously it has been ever evolving. Every day we are doing new things, learning new things, upgrading ourselves. So I think it's really important to change with the time and with the changing needs of your consumers. I think that is very important.
In one word for your entrepreneurial journey?
I would say it's a roller coaster. Definitely.
Super. So thank you so much, Namrata, for joining us in Mahila Money Talk. So everybody out there, if you have a business idea, if you have any passion and want to convert it into a profession, so take the first step, the tiny step, and you will see that you will start flourishing. And here to this podcast, and be available for the next Mahila Money Talk.